I kind of let it just fade out. So as time went on, after a couple of years of taking a break from the business, I started just noticing like I still share the oils. I still order every month. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try again. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it my all and then see how it goes. So I think I was literally not even hitting elite last December. And I think I hit elite in January. And then I hit premier a couple months later, just through doing the silver club. But then during Diamond Club, I actually hit silver. And I got 15th place. So I'm now going to be going to Hawaii. So needless to say, it's been an incredible year for me with doTERRA.
Welcome, welcome. It's so good to be back from the Dominican Republic. Natalie and I so enjoyed connecting with so many top leaders. We got to hear story after story and hear tips on what's working, what's moving the needle for people. The thing I love is there are as many ways to build this business as there are people building the business. There's not one prescribed way to do it. It's really amazing to hear all of the brilliant different stories and just to see the brilliance coming through in all the different people and all the ways that they're having success. That's what Natalie and I, as we were assessing what are we feeling called to over the next year, it's really storytelling. And so we want to take the focus off of us as coaches and really put the attention on all the many, many people who are having wins, having successes. And gosh, the incentive trip, there's no better place to find just a jackpot of people who are winning in so many ways. So anyways, that's what we're here for, is to share real stories of real people who are having all different kinds of success building their doTERRA business all over the world. So I am your host, Andy Goddard, and Natalie, my wife, and I have been helping people create financial freedom with doTERRA for now 17 years. So at the heart of everything we do is our mission of seeing a healer in every home. I think you know as well as anyone the life-changing benefits of doTERRA's essential oils and their business model. I used to think it was just the oils, but I've come to believe that the business model is just as inspired as the oils. So we've created this podcast to inspire you just to lean into more freedom in your own life. Each week, I interview different doTERRA business builders from all over the world to draw out and highlight what it takes to create financial freedom and success with doTERRA. We're going to highlight the tools they've used, any tips and tricks that they've got to share, along with the mindset shifts that they've leveraged to keep showing up for their dream every day. Super, super excited for today's guest. Her name is Sudevi Geyer. Welcome, welcome, friend. We just met last week in Dominican Republic, and I'm super excited to hear your story today.
Thank you so much, Andy. Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you and Natalie and being in the Dominican with all of you. Thank you for inviting me and sharing my story. Okay, I will just start back to how I even got to know about oils. At the time, I was living in Bellingham, Washington, and I had this meditation center that I was working with and helping run. And right outside the building was the farmer's market. So somebody asked us if they could set up a doTERRA table right outside our building, and she did. And the only oil she had was wild orange that she was giving samples of. She had this huge sign and she had some products, but she had wild orange that she was just sampling people with. So I tried it and I was obsessed immediately. I kept buying the 5 ml from her. And after a while she said, I don't even sell these 5 ml bottles. Do you want to host a class? And she said, this month we have a special that you can win a diffuser if you host a class with 10 people. I was like, no problem. Yes, I want that. So I did that, and we had a class. I learned about the amazing power of essential oils. I had a 6-month-old at the time, who's now almost 12 next month. And it made a lot of sense for us to start using the oils. And at the time, actually, my mother-in-law was at the meeting. So she bought a kit and she got a whole membership and everything. So I didn't at that time. So we started using the oils for a couple of years. And during that time, I realized one of my good friends in Germany, Madhavi, was also using essential oils. And we connected on that. And then we were just both users. And then all of a sudden, she had won a trip to Vancouver from Germany through like the incentive trip for Arbo Vitae. So she came to visit, and of course, she just planted all the seeds of doing the business in me. And at first, I was like, no, I don't think I could make time in my busy life for such a thing. But really, I will say those seeds, which I was completely convinced that there was no way, like zero chance of me doing the business, they sprouted in a very short time, maybe 2 months. I started thinking, wait, this might be something for me. And so I decided to do the business. And right away, I had the choice. Do I join my friend in Germany who's just starting her business? Or do I join the people that already have shared oils with me, who my mother-in-law has an account with, and who basically took over the town I was in? So I thought, instead of going against them, I'll just join them. So I did. I joined this team, and we built together. The first month, they were like, what goal do you have for enrollments? And I wrote down 10 enrollments. And crazy, this is something I feel like is one of my biggest takeaways from goals. They're so important. Like if you have a goal, it's likely that you'll meet it. If you don't, it's probably likely you won't try any harder than you know you need to. So, but because I had this 10 enrollment goal, and they had an incentive that month, they happened to do an incentive, I really like went for it. And the method they taught me, which was great, was the classic, okay, you learn one section of the class and you go to the next week and you do 2 sections, the next week 3 sections. So they taught me everything pretty well in the first couple months. However, after a few months, I realized I didn't really vibe with them. And that was a little difficult, yeah, to handle, because I had this other team of people that I really loved and friends, and then this team that I really didn't vibe with. But I did doTERRA with them for probably a year and a half or so. And then after some time, I just kind of got discouraged. I wasn't growing as fast. I was growing in some ways, but I wasn't really understanding like how to structure and how to really like build for residual income. So I kind of let it just fade out. Then I decided to, when I moved during COVID, I decided to start up again and change teams to a friend. And so we did that, and it was good. At first, I started again in Boise, Idaho, started up, and then I moved again a year later, just a year later. So I pretty much did doTERRA that whole time. But when I moved to Houston, Texas, which is my current location, I came for a specific job, type thing within a community. And even though I still did doTERRA, it kind of became less and less the busier that my other duties um, came along. This doTERRA as a business took like the back seat. And even though I noticed I never stopped sharing, anyone would get sick, I would pull out the oils. I was always just sharing the oils. But I wasn't really known as like, okay, I'm the oil lady. Only a few people knew. So as time went on, I've been here now almost 5 years, 4.5. I guess after a couple of years of taking a break from the business, I started just noticing like I still share the oils. I still order every month. I still have all my supplies. And, I was kind of decluttering one day and I realized I have so much things about essential oils, books and, pamphlets. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try again. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it my all and then see how it goes. Anyhow, that was last December. And almost immediately, I started finding some enthusiasm. One girl, I mentioned it, like she was just talking about, I asked her what she does for a living, and she said she's trying to figure it out. And it has to be something in the health industry and something to do with healing. And I thought, oh, well, maybe you could look into what I do. And I told her, and immediately she wanted to like build with me. So that put me in a place where I was like, okay, let me get back into this in a serious way. So I started, teaching her how to enroll. And in the meantime, I was enrolling during classes. So I qualified for Silver Club. And that was really what like launched my business again. So I think I was literally not even hitting elite last December. And I think I hit elite in January, and then I hit premier, a couple months later, just through doing the Silver Club. I think what really helped me is that I've already built a lot of relationships in Houston. And I think that's really key in building a business, like really having a good network and making sure you keep in touch with people and get people's phone numbers. That's what I'm pretty good at. Like I meet people and immediately I just find something that we have in common, and or I just invite them to an event. And I tend to go at least once or twice a week to an event. So I find places that people would like to go, and then I invite them. And then that just immediately establishes a connection beyond the just essential oils I'm trying to sell them. It's more of a let's have a friendship. And that always funnels into, of course, this is what I want to help you with. This is what I do to help everyone. So then that kind of surprised me that all those connections led to a lot of enrollments during Silver Club. Like the first month, I was kind of shocked because I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I know you have 5 minimum enrollments. I think the first month I did 15. And I thought, wow, that's a lot, or maybe even 18. I reached third place in the first month of Silver Club because of just enrolling, being really excited about Silver Club and the incentive that is available. So that was really like, that was the first time I'd ever enrolled more than the 10 people the first month. And so I was just like, wow, this is possible. So it really motivated me just to know, like, if I could reach third place, then maybe I can actually do well and try to win it. I tried, but I really went for it and had a lot of classes, talked to everybody, and just really, if I wasn't planting a seed, I was harvesting, whatever was happening, it was like something's going on here. I tend to see it like that, like a garden. A lot of times people need a few or even more experiences with essential oils. So I do the system where I like to sample. I followed, many of you know, probably the Elise Sudevi system. So I did that when I was in Boise, the second time I joined doing the business. I followed that to a T. And now I've basically used that system, but adjust it to make it doable for me. It seems to work. I find like the spirit of giving, it's like what naturally I like to do. So I just like to give essential oils. But the trick is, of course, to follow back up and just make sure those seeds are being watered and also later taken care of, and continuing obviously to care for those people that come on my team. And so anyhow, it was amazing because during the Silver Club, after some time I realized, oh, okay, I'm not going to get in the top 10. I was reaching for it. I ended up in the 20th place, and that's all I really wanted. I said, I just at least want to be in the top 20. I was like 20th. So that was exciting. And the other exciting thing was I had never gotten anywhere close to winning an incentive trip, but all of a sudden I'm seeing in my back office, they're sending me these little like letters saying you're close. And yeah, and so I basically was able to reach for the incentive trip. So, which I just went, I guess, a couple of weeks ago to the Dominican, maybe even last week. Yeah, it was amazing. And so because of this confidence I had with Silver Club and the incentive trip, I figured, I'd thought that I'd heard that they were making an exception for Diamond Club. You could actually like apply even if you were not at that level. But so I did. I just applied and thought, you know what? It's no harm in doing another club if I can. I would love to. So I joined the Diamond Club. Its stakes are a lot higher. I think it was like 12 enrollments in 15 in some of the months, but I was able to do it. And I think I just really told every single person I know. Anyone I talked to, I would just give a sample of VMG, tell them about it. Mostly VMG, for a while there, it was like flying off the shelves. And so, it's a bit of a whirlwind during the clubs because you feel like, okay, there's just the finish line right there. So I'm just going to push it. So yeah, I did quite a bit of that. And it ended up, I was so excited at the end, by the end. So during Silver Club, I had not hit silver because I just basically started up my business again. And I did reach elite, premier, which was very exciting for me. It was like the second time I reached premier ever. But then during Diamond Club, I actually hit silver. I hit the second level power of three, which was like the first time ever. And I got 15th place. So I ended up I'm now going to be going to Hawaii. So needless to say, it's been an incredible year for me with doTERRA. It's revived all my faith. And not only that, I will say part of the reason I really decided to even start it back up again is because that friend that convinced me to join in Germany, she just has become so successful now. She's Blue Diamond, a founder in Europe. Like she reached the top levels, and I was like, how did you do this? Like me and her are very similar. We could, it could have just as well been me. However, she was consistent. She never gave up. She continued to enroll, and she wasn't enrolling 15, 20 people. She was just enrolling like 3 or 4 people a month, but consistently and taking good care of them. So I aspire for that consistency, that care in my business, and that's what I'm really like focused on this year. But it was a fun year, and I do recommend anyone that can do the club. It's worth it to try and qualify for it because they just give you so much support and inspiration and encouragement. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful for just being where I am now. And I see it's just the beginning. I have so much more to grow, and I met so many amazing people like the Goddards in Dominican Republic. And so I really want to win the next one, of course.
I love it.
That's where I'm going this year.
That is so awesome. Wow, what an inspirational journey. Um, I'm seeing in the comments how many people are inspired by the story and the journey that you've had, and just incredible. Um, Gosh, there's so many things that I could highlight, but I want to just ask you a few questions if that's okay.
Sure.
How has doTERRA changed your life? Like if you think about in terms of possibilities and options, like what has it opened up for you that wasn't there before?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My just the the amount of abundance I feel that is possible with doTERRA in so many ways, but also just the ability to share something very practical to help people, which is something I really strive for in my life, is to try and help people. Um, and this just adds a whole new element of where people really need like physical help, and we all do. It's I'm passionate about it. I was a hairdresser before for many years, and I really loved doing that. But I find that I love this just as much, which is hard because I really loved hairdressing. But I love
Mm,
this just as much. I like the time freedom. I love the idea. I love traveling, so I love the idea that we can just travel all around and do this all around the world. Um, yeah, it is changing my financial situation, giving me
mhm.
freedom and security in that field. So I'm very grateful. And and I do find, I will say I didn't mention it at all, but during the last year, I have had some people join me as builders. That's one area I feel I really need to step it up and to support them for sure. But that's like really inspiring too, just to see, okay, I can see us all growing together and becoming financially strong in this wonderful company because they have an awesome plan.
That's awesome. Wow. So inspiring. So if you were to um, just give us a little snapshot of your background, your life. You mentioned you're a hairdresser. Tell us about your family. I think I saw on Facebook you have a child. Is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, let's see, my background is hairdressing, but I'm Canadian. That's one
Uh-huh.
thing I didn't mention. I'm Canadian. And when I moved to America back in 2009, um, my husband at the time and we opened like a meditation center. So I kind
Mm,
of left the hairdressing field. I started just doing it from home for friends and family and stuff like
mm,
that. But so I've basically really been in, I guess, teaching meditation. That's one thing I do. Um, and it's a musical meditation that we do. So I do that as my kind of day job is I help at this place called the Bhakti Urban Farm. And so that's something that I do, which really supports my doTERRA business because part of my job is building community.
mm.
And so that's basically what I do there. I have a almost 12-year-old son, and yeah, he's just a vibrant boy. He was our
Wow,
inspiration, I'd say, for using the oils. We pretty much only used them on him for the first year. Um, and and yeah, I'd say my lifestyle is very active in community. I have lots
beautiful.
of events and stuff that I host and also attend.
I love it. So tell us if you were to say which skills or tools or resources have been the most supportive of your growth in doTERRA. You mentioned the clubs, obviously, Silver
Mhm.
Club and Diamond Club, but what else in terms of like um, I think you said you mostly enroll through classes. Is there a particular class you like to teach? Is there a
Mhm.
certain way that you invite? Like what? Tell us about some of your specific tips.
Sure. I mean, I have had a really, so when I did switch teams, I went with a friend who's really been my rock. Like she's been super supportive. And so that's been a huge help just with my business, having a very supportive
Mhm.
mentor upline, just somebody who will, bend over backwards to help me and is always
Mhm.
there for me emotionally even and to share my wins and kind of mourn my losses with. It's very helpful
Mhm.
for me. um, but and also she has an account manager who's
Mhm.
also been very helpful, and we meet with him every couple of weeks, and he's been helpful like just to guide me in the back office stuff. Now I have my own silver account manager, which also is, I just feel like I want to take advantage of anyone with expertise in doTERRA that wants to help me. I'm there to accept that and to learn from them. I really enjoy the calls that they offered during the Silver Club, but I know that there's empowered success calls and these things. But I would say, yeah, just taking advantage of any of these help available. And the class I do has always been just like the typical essential oils made easy class.
Okay.
I've been, I basically use that same model and either shorten it when it needs to be or have it be part of an event and just see how it fits in. But I'm really excited this year to offer the class that you all developed, the breakthrough circle, because I personally like doing kind of events, experiential events. So I could see myself doing this, including the meditation that I teach,
Mhm.
and also having people have a really deep experience with the oils. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So for those who are, in case you don't know which class she's talking about, I think you're talking about this one here that's through the Empowered Success System. It's called Essential Oils Are Simple. Is that right?
Yes, basically that class.
Okay, perfect. Um, and then you also mentioned the um, the Breakthrough Circle. So if anybody's curious about where to find more on that resource, just go to essentialemotions.com/circle, and then you'll see kind of what it is, a short video, and then lots of tools. Lots of these are free downloads that you can just download and start running with. Um, there's the circle, but there's also a class called Ride the Waves class. And so that's a separate offering. That one's a little more focused on kind of education and enrollment, where the circle is a little more focused on giving people an experience, right? Letting them go through the meditation and reflection and sharing. And anyways, it's a really beautiful offering. And there's the playlists that go along with it. So anyways, that's a little more specific about what she's referring to there. Awesome. So if you were to give anyone listening any coaching on like mindset, what advice would you give on how to create the perfect, thought storm, or the, just the healthy mindset to build and succeed?
Okay. I mean, for me, I find it's the most natural and the most fun when I just want to help people, but also when I mean, for me, with my faith, I just like to think of God as my business partner. And I heard that one time on the stage, and I thought, oh, I love that. I want that, I want that. So I feel like that. And all the people that come to me, I feel are sent like that. And so that's for me, that's my mindset, is that, okay, I just want to be a servant to this, and I'm not really the one doing it. That's kind of my mindset. But I do, show up for it and do my best. So that's kind of mine. And also just having this, something that did shift for me, couple of things, is just realizing whatever limitations I have within myself and to try and move through that. Like this trauma circle that you are doing. I actually went to a trauma retreat in the Netherlands in November with my friend from Germany, Madhavi, and it felt like a huge weight was lifted. And even just before that, I felt like I had this poverty consciousness. I sensed that I had a poverty consciousness. I was feeling like I want to give, but I also don't feel like I can give. I had this like bit of a in between. And one day I just said, okay, it sounds woo woo for sure, but I was at this like full moon circle with these women, and they were like, here, why don't we all put on a piece of paper what we want to let go of and put it in the fire? And I kid you not, I said, I want to let go of poverty consciousness. So I put it in this fire under the full moon and all that. I didn't think anything big was going to happen, I promise you. I just did that and went on with the evening. Next morning, I woke up. I couldn't help but feel like complete gratitude. And it felt like I let go of that and just took on an abundance consciousness. And so that was a big shift for me. I went and I actually kind of put my money where my mouth was, because I felt so and this was before I was making a lot of money with doTERRA or anything, but I just thought, I have so much like blessings and I have everything I need. So I paid off my credit card. It wasn't like that much, but still I paid it to zero. I booked an appointment with the dentist. That was kind of something that was looming, and I thought, okay, I can do all this. I have abundance. So I do firmly believe, like, if that's something blocking us, we won't be able to reach any higher financial goals, because we will think, oh no, we just are at this level. But I kind of opened up like the possibility that, oh yeah, I have all that already, and it's coming to me like that. So I guess it is, a little bit of this manifestation energy, but I do feel like that helps. That helps my mindset.
Beautiful. I love the fact that you've been on a journey to improve your mindset, that you've been intentional, and that you're doing, you're taking steps. It's not like you're just okay with whatever. I feel like that's the most important um, tip for mindset, right? Is just be aware, right? But be conscious of your consciousness. Become self-aware. That's huge. Um, Awesome. Any other questions that anybody has? I saw that in the chat when you were at the very, very beginning of your story. Um, somebody said, what did she tell you? What were the seeds that convinced you? So I think you were talking about the person who invited you. Um,
Mhm.
do you remember what word they used or how they invited you?
Yeah, they just said that like she knew me, she's a friend, and she was like, I could see you doing this and being good at it. And she was just very like encouraging about it. Um, I tell you, I was like, no, 100%. I think I was overwhelmed at the time with what I had already going on. I had a new child, like my baby was only 2 at the time. I was just very like busy. But I think what happened at that time was I also didn't feel like I could invest any money towards even getting my own kit. I didn't even have my account that time. I was just getting oils from my mother-in-law. But what happened was those seeds were planted. I started thinking about it a little bit more and just realizing like it would be a nice excuse to buy oils. And I was like, it might be actually really fun to learn something new about more about oils and how to do this business. And then it was a combination of like those seeds being planted and then just some money that came kind of like out of the blue. Somebody gave me a beautiful table that I ended up just selling and making $500, and I used it towards investing in my business. So it just was like, but I do really think you can, it makes me realize, you can be 100% no and change your mind. That can be
Hmm.
possible. So we shouldn't give up on
Beautiful.
people.
Such wise words. Thank you so much. Any other questions anybody has for Sudevi and her journey? I see another comment. Susan says that you grew your team volume from 3,000 to 10,000 in Diamond Club. So that's incredible. Yeah. Any other questions for Sudevi? Awesome. Well, gosh, thank you so much for your time, for your just open willingness to share and inspire all of us. Um, one
Oh,
question Kathy just asked, what types of events do you go to?
yeah, it's a good question. So I host events mostly, but I guess a couple of years ago, I started going out and I go to this one event that is like a drum class. So basically, it's a weekly event. They have their own community. It's a beautiful community. So I started going there and just really like vibing with that community. And now, actually, the head of that community is also a builder. He's got doTERRA in his studio, and I go and do classes there. And it just feels like, when you go and you participate in other people's thing, and especially if it's something you genuinely like to do, then it's easy to invite more people to that, get to know the people that are there. I just started going to Zumba. Maybe I'll make friends with the people that do that. Like, I just find things that I like to do, and
Hmm.
then I go and just be friendly and meet the people.
I love that. Ruth says, what are some ways that you commune with God as a business partner?
Okay. I mean, I pray a lot. I pray about it, and I just basically, like I said, I put it on him. I say, if you want this to grow, please send the people and make it happen. And I do feel like he will just send people, things will just happen miraculously through that. And I think that that's definitely not me. You know, it's that involvement of God. So many times some things happen. I'm like, that was not me. That was
Mhm.
God. So yeah, I
I
do
love
feel like
that.
that happens a lot.
And I love that you're not just sitting back on your couch waiting for people to knock on your door. You're putting yourself out there. You're going to these different types of gatherings. And so you're giving, you're giving God a funnel to send people through, right? It's not just, yeah. So God can steer a ship that's in motion, not a ship at the port, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's a nice way to put it.
sorry, were you going to say something?
No, that was
No.
just a nice way to put it, that God can steer a ship in motion. I like that.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, I don't see any more questions. So thank you, Sudevi, so much for
Thank you.
giving of your time, of your brilliance. We have been well fed today, and we honor you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to coming next week to your call. This is my first time on your call, but
Oh my goodness. First
um,
time, and you're the main stage, the keynote speaker.
well, thanks again for this opportunity. And
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and God bless. Oh my goodness, what an amazing story. So cool. I love so many things about her story. Um, One of the things I love is that it wasn't a straight line from A to B. It was like A through, all the letters till she got to where she is today. It involved restarting, and partnering with a new upline, which we don't recommend, but she made it work. And that's a tribute to her intention, her partnering with God, and just um, being all in. That's so amazing. Can I share with everyone the the way to interact now with the web page for this call? So I'm going to show you how to get there. So if you go to sharesuccess.com and you click on support up in the top right, click on support. And this is the new home, okay? It's called the Business Success Podcast. So you click on that, and that opens up this page. And on this page, you'll see that you can access the podcast through all these different platforms. You've got the Zoom link and also the YouTube link. But then down here, you'll see that if you have questions during the week, like maybe this timing just doesn't work for you, you can actually put a recording here so that we can answer your question on the call. But it's just more personal than, typing a text. So that's super cool. And then also, if you have someone in mind that you think would be a great guest to bring on, someone who's having some success, it doesn't have to be, zero to hero in 2 months, but if you have anyone that's having any kind of success, we would love to hear from you. And so you can suggest a guest here. And then obviously you can access past episodes down here. So that is the URL. In case you missed it, you can just go to sharesuccess.com/call. So CALL. And that will take you to this page. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I love that theme too. Like you're saying, Shauna, consistency, right? Just keep showing up. Chop wood, carry water, right? It's just become boringly consistent, right? There's someone on Lindsay's team who uses that all the time. I think it's Sarah Shoemaker. So it's a great way to remember, like success is often like watching paint dry. It's feels boring, but that consistency pays off in spades. Awesome. Well, I am here for anyone who has any other questions. We'll just open it up. If you want to raise your hand, we can bring you on live, or you can put your questions down in the chat and we can answer them that way too. So, Alyssa. Alyssa was one of our guests just a few weeks ago, and she was there in the Dominican Republic. She had team members there as well. And from where I was sitting, it looks like she and her team were having a fantastic time. So, welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you so much. Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing,
That was
amazing.
a
Thank
great
you.
trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, so fantastic. Wow. And thank you all for your support with Tiara as well. She was doing much better on Thursday.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Glad to hear that.
yes. So we're curious because we were just talking about the breakthrough circles, Tiara and I, last night.
Mhm.
And we were curious about how, like, what does the model look like in terms of enrolling people into doTERRA with some oils when you do the breakthrough sessions? Because we weren't super clear
Mhm.
on that.
Yeah, Great question. So for anyone on this call who's experienced a breakthrough circle, they can go really deep.
Mm.
It's such a safe container that really consistently I've seen people get emotional. I've seen people just process really, really deep stuff. And so because of the depth that the people get to in those classes, it really is not the ideal
Mm.
time to say, and now who wants to buy some oils, right? It just the energy is pretty off for that. So what we like to do, part of that breakthrough process at the very end, it says, what do you feel called to use to continue this healing process, right? To continue to
Mm.
release and to live free. And so it's a journaling exercise. So we don't try to prescribe too much, but we do offer, oils are a great way to, and obviously the oils have come up and we've passed around oils during the breakthrough circle. So, we seed it during the breakthrough circle. But then usually what Natalie and I like to do is within a day or two, we just reach out and say, hey, I'd love to follow up on our circle and see how you're doing and just find out what tools would serve you to support your ongoing healing.
Mm.
So it's kind of a day or two later process that we found works best. Um, so yeah, I definitely wouldn't plan a breakthrough circle on the last day of the month so that you can close an extra 2000 PV to hit rank, right? Like that's not really the nature of the event. It's not meant to be a high closing event. It's meant to give incredible experiences and to open
Mm.
people's minds and hearts to what's available. But yeah, I wouldn't try to do big enrollments at the event. So
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that's
yeah.
yeah, so great because we're also looking at hosting like an intro class with the oils another day of the week. And so that
Uh-huh.
can just be like, hey, like, have the breakthrough circle, do that deeper work. And then if they're
Uh-huh.
available, hey, come to, this oils class and we can do a deeper dive into that space as well. So yeah,
Totally.
beautiful.
Now, I think I mentioned this earlier, but if you go to essentialemotions.com/circle, there is another offering. There's the Ride the Waves class, which is designed to educate about emotions, educate about the oils, and invite them to enroll with a kit. So it has some kits on the last page of the class. So I definitely recommend leveraging that tool if you love teaching emotions and you are going for more enrollment at the class itself. So that's a great resource too, right
Awesome.
away.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alyssa. Okay. Any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand. Looking through the chat. Um, oh yes, Laura, you were with us at the Breakthrough Circle in the DR. Karina says, we just did a breakthrough circle, so beautiful. I also talked to Hope Clark. She's one of our leaders in Florida, and she has a silver leader on her team. And she said that's all she's doing right now is breakthrough circles. Um, so it's really, really landing for her. And yeah, it's working. She has another leg, I think it's on a different team, that's an elite leader and she's just doing the Ride the Waves class from what Hope told me. So yeah, it's some great tools, great resources. Um, awesome. Anybody else have any questions for us today? Go ahead and raise your hand, put it in the chat. Karina says, do you know what things about the Aroma Touch Dr. Hill is talking about at leadership? I actually connected with Dr. Hill just before the Dominican Republic trip. And he said they have gotten a lot of clarity about the final touches. And so I don't know, he didn't specify what that means, but he has been saying that the refinements they've been making to the whole Aroma Touch certification, to I don't think he's been tweaking the technique itself, but anyways, he has been saying that we're in beta, and so I believe that at leadership that will be it will be more final. I hesitate to say it'll be final, but I think he's received a lot of clarity in this process, and so that's all I can tell you. Mary says, "Can I share any goodies from the DR?" Oh boy, they didn't really do any like product reveal. So other goodies, gosh, the main goodies were just all the people that we met, and we've got many of them coming on this call over the next few weeks. So it's going to be great. Other goodies, we did a miniature uh, National Solutions Unplugged class one of the evenings. And by the way, if you go to essentiallife.com, we have a new page. They have a page at essentiallife.com called Unplugged Events. So there are unplugged events happening all across America. So we've got one on the 18th in Wisconsin, the 19th in Lehigh, 26th in St. George, March 10th in San Diego, April 19th in Atlanta. So go check, stay tuned to this page. This is where I hear they're going to keep it really current with all the events that are happening around the country. So super exciting. I've heard that there's one coming up soon in Salt Lake County as well. So I think Amy Fulmer may have a venue that she's getting lined up. So anyway, stay tuned to that page so that you can, so that you can attend, be a part of the Unplugged events. They're incredible. Okay, and I think many of you heard that they're opening up leadership to pretty much anyone. So if you already have a ticket, you can add someone to your ticket, and they don't have to have any rank or enrollment requirements. They really want more people to be there because of all the new stuff, all the goodness. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Many of you heard that Dave Sterling has stepped back in as CEO. So we're super excited for all the wisdom that he's going to bring. We had lots of good chats with him in the DR. And we also, many of you heard that Jessica Moultrie has been put in as the new, I think it's called Vice President of North America, or President. Sorry, she's the President of North America. So this is the first time that corporate has brought someone from the field in to play a corporate role. So that's super exciting. But there's going to be so much good stuff. Okay, Alyssa asks if the Unplugged event in San Diego is open to anyone. Yes. So all these events are open to anyone. So feel free to plug in and soak up the goodness. All right, any other questions today? If not, I think we've been well fed today. Mary says, what's the price for people to attend leadership? I think, I know there was an early bird price, but I think that may have passed already. Does somebody know? Oh, Karina says $89. Thank you. Yes. So 89. And then Brenda says on the 17th, it goes up. Okay. For those who can't attend in person, they are offering a digital recap. So it's not a live stream. It's not going to be at the time of leadership. But if you absolutely can't be there in person, you can pay for kind of an abbreviated recap. So it's not going to be the whole thing, but you'll get the main points. Okay, Leanne just posted through February 7th, you can snag your ticket for $79 using the promo code early bird price, no space. And it's in all caps there. So just go to leadership.doterra.com. So Mary, it is being recorded, but they're not going to offer the whole recording in the recap. They're just going to take highlights. They really want to emphasize the value of being there in person. And that's the only way to get all of the content is in person. So I know there are people who are just can't make it, but and I don't know if those going will have access to recording. It's a great question. If anybody knows the answer to that, go ahead and put it in there. Not sure, Lynn, what you mean by key. So that's what I know so far. Yes. So my understanding is they've opened up leadership to anyone. Okay, fantastic. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here today. Oh, somebody did ask, what does unplugged mean? So if you go back to the early days of doTERRA, we would gather in living rooms and we would just sit around, open up a reference guide, like the Essential Life book, and we would just look up health conditions and talk about the healing that's available. And that was, it was raw, it was pretty unstructured. It was really just whatever health conditions people bring, we'd look them up. And so that's the nature of this unplugged event. Is it's just a chance to kind of unplug from these little crazy devices and just get present. And so there's none of them are recorded. It's just get back to human connections, humans solving human problems. So that's why they're called unplugged. Okay. So the unplugged schedule, if you go to essentiallife.com and then click on unplugged events on the top. So essentiallife.com. Okay. I thought I saw some more questions. Awesome. Mary says they had a mini unplugged event at her house this week. We just shared testimonies and it was great. Invited a neighbor and she enrolled the next day. That's it right there. It's not about bringing an expert. You don't need a doctor. You don't need an expert panel. Like you are the expert. Just open up the book and draw on all the expertise of that's contained in those books. That's the key right there. Yep. A book and a box of bottles. That's exactly right. Thank you, Esther. Yeah. Yep. A book and a box is all you need to build a business. Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for being here. Thank you to Sudevi for coming on. And stay tuned. We've got lots more experts who are going to be on with us. Lots more successful leaders who are willing to share their stories. So the web address for this podcast is sharesuccess.com/call, CALL. So thanks again for being here, and we'll see you next week.